massive rally for Mara coming up soon after this happens. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about right now. We're going to jump straight into it. So we know, we know so far, and this is going to make sense in Mara in just a moment. I'm going to show you Mara's chart in a moment. But we know that Bitcoin has started creating a reasonable uptrend, right? We had retracement filled perfectly within this dip, found support, we broke up higher, we're able to break the 84.6k level on this liquidity wall, forming a new high from here. So we have a structure forming. So far, a micro 5-wave structure moved to the way up. So what this means is that Bitcoin may have bottomed. It may have, but there's one thing we need to keep an eye on. It's the potential risk of support failing and us coming down easily, maybe 73, 75k. The reason being, and this is going to provide, if it happens, it's going to provide a massive buying opportunity for Mara, and the risk is too much valid to, not have some capital set aside to pick this up. So far, in order for a continuation, more confidence, more evidence that the dip is in and we're going to start moving higher, is that we want to see. So far, we have first wave in, second wave down, perfectly. We're trying to get a third wave completion. What this means is that in order for Bitcoin to prove bullish momentum, which then will push Mara higher, we need to see strong enough price action to break past the 87k liquidity wall and reach this green area. This green area is the ideal zone for a solid 3-wave move up. If we fail to reach this area due to resistance now or resistance within the 1-week liquidity at 87k, what it means is that we may move lower. But here's where the opportunity pops up, right? There's still a lot of macroeconomic fear, and this can potentially bring these growth assets down and form one more low before we start rallying higher. Because we are in deep value discounts right now in Bitcoin and in Mara, but that does not mean we can't form one more low. And the reason I'm saying that is because we are starting to see some consolidation. RSI is trying to reset, still a little bit in the premium. We haven't seen the RSI come down to discounted ever since March 14th. So what that means is that if the support does not hold, and even if the support holds, it creates somewhat of a messy structure. So it's less likely that it would hold. It doesn't really make too much sense. But if Bitcoin does find support within this orange retracement, just like it did back here, and start moving up higher, this can create a continuation for Mara to trend up. But if this fails, and this is where the massive opportunity pops up, right? If this fails, the 120 moving average is starting to close up onto the price, which means if this fails and we do see a break of the 120 moving average down below this retracement area, it will create enough bearish momentum to easily bring us down and form one more low before we move up higher. And it could potentially go to 73, 75k will be the next major support. Now, if this were to happen, and it's very important just to be prepared in case this does happen because it's very, very valid. And that is, if this happens, we can see Mara finally break into the super deep discounted price area down here underneath $12 per share. And again, this is mainly going to be due to macroeconomic fear. If this were to happen, even if Bitcoin holds strong, tries to reach 87k leading into the third trading week of March, it can create enough bullish momentum for Mara to push up a little higher. But the amount of strong overlapping resistances are very strong. The previous retracement in blue overlaps perfectly with the new yellow retracement resistance area. And we have the 120 moving average starting to dip lower into the discounted portion. And usually the 120 moving average acts as a strong resistance for Mara, just like it can act as a strong support. So even if Bitcoin does try to reach that 87k and it gets rejected and it can't hold above it, what we're going to see is Mara easily pull back and potentially reach this super deep value supportive area for the overall massive dip that Bitcoin is in at the moment. So it's very important to understand this risk and just be prepared in case it does happen. If it doesn't, great, we'll move up higher. If it does, it's too much of a great opportunity not to, in my opinion, be prepared for it, right? Because so far, we still have a downtrend in Mara. We couldn't, and I said this in previous videos, if we can't hold enough, volume within this retracement area, we won't just go lower, but we can go lower. And as we try to go up, now this will, instead of acting as a support, it now will act as a strong resistance. As you can see, with the current low, the retracement area overlaps with the other one perfectly. The 120 moving average that's getting closer to the price, lowering the potential resistance high that Mara can go up. And this is kind of pretty much perfectly aligning with Bitcoin's 87K level. So again, guys, I'm not here to be bearish. I'm just here to highlight short-term risk and the potential one more low that Bitcoin can have before we finally start moving up higher. So with that being said, if Bitcoin fails, and so far it's struggling, but if Bitcoin fails to reach this area and instead gets, back into this retracement area and actually does not hold and breaks the support, we can easily see Mara find rejection here and come down and finally reach this super deep value supportive area down here. The moment, if this were to happen, the moment Bitcoin starts trading in the 70s, especially between 73 to 75K, I believe that's wherever Mara is at. Can be here, a little bit lower, wherever it's at, it can create super strong momentum to soon enough break this, break past all of these, push it up higher when Bitcoin finally pumps, and then retest the screen area more aggressively. And this is kind of like what we're looking for, and it's a very possible scenario of reaching down into the super deep discounted area if Bitcoin fails to find that momentum to complete a third wave higher within this overall microstructure, as we try to form, a pathway to finally back into the 90s and back into the 100K. So one more low for Bitcoin is not off the table. Again, if this flourishes to be true and we see that one more low, again, guys, massive buying opportunity to accumulate or opening position or whatever with Mara within this area. If Bitcoin does finally reach up into that green area to complete a third wave, we can see Mara starting to break past these resistance areas, and that will create that bullish momentum for us to finally retest this area here. So both areas are very bullish. Both pathways are very bullish. The difference is that one of them just happens to delay that big jump up by a little bit. Again, if Bitcoin does fail to find support, hold current volume at the current prices at, and it falls back down, this is going to be very short-lived in my opinion, and we're going to come up from it super quickly, and that's where we'll see Mara come down and have a quick V-shaped recovery, and then finally break past these resistance areas and go ahead and push that green area a little more aggressively into the higher premium side of it. So hopefully this made sense, guys. Hopefully I highlighted very clearly the potential short-term risk if Bitcoin fails to complete that third wave. But this can also provide a massive buying opportunity for some solid trades, in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.